Welcome back to the Law Show. Mike McLeod again for Kerrigan Estes, Rankin McLeod and Thompson, personal injury lawyer specialist along the Gulf Coast of Florida. I'm proud to host the Law Show every week at this time, many times answering your questions by text or email. Hope we do a good job of that. We look at your every single text that comes through, we read it. And if we think your question will benefit you or others who are watching the Law Show, we get an answer to you typically the very next week. So if you text us a question, and you can text it to 850-444-4444, the number's on the screen. We'll read it and we'll get you a personal reply, or we'll answer on the air the following week, or we'll do both. So we really try hard to respond to everybody who calls the law firm. And again, the number is maybe the easiest around, 444-444, area code 850. My email address is mike.mcleod@kerrigan.com. So one of the reasons that several reasons we do the Law Show each week. One is to provide public service information, consumer type information. Bob Kerrigan leads us in that effort and does a terrific job of providing information on things of interest, we think of interest. And also, it's a way for the community to know more about our firm and what we do. So I want to talk a little bit this morning about what happens when you're in an accident and you call our law firm. So when you're in an automobile accident, it's the last thing you're thinking about. You're thinking about going to the mall. Used to go to the mall more often before COVID, but you're thinking about getting where you're going home, going to work, going to a sports event. It's the last thing you're thinking about. An accident happens. It's not your fault, and you have an injury. So many people who find themselves in that sudden circumstance don't have a family lawyer, haven't ever hired a lawyer. So the process can seem, I think, and we hear, somewhat intimidating. Very common for someone that I meet with to say, I never thought I would hire a lawyer before, or I never thought I would hire a lawyer because of an accident. So I want to take a few minutes this morning to explain kind of the process for what happens when someone calls our firm. We have an intake process that has worked very well for us for almost 40 years. We have a highly trained specialist assistant who if you call and say, I've been in an accident, I was injured in an accident, you'll talk to the person that answers the phone briefly, and then you will be transferred to a specialist who takes more detailed information about who you are, what your numbers are, just a little bit of basic information about you. How did the accident happen, and what's your injury? Who's your automobile insurance? The person who you will talk to is extraordinarily courteous, empathetic to what happened to you, and trained at asking the right questions to find out what does the lawyer need to know to evaluate your phone call. And then after that process is completed, it takes typically really maybe 15 minutes or so. That information is sent to one of our lawyers who will read it so that the lawyer will know kind of a framework for what happened to you. And then you will either get a phone call back from the lawyer who will represent you, or in some cases, you may get a call back from assistant that says, Mr. McLeod, Mike McLeod would love to meet with you. Randy Thompson, Bob Kerrigan would love to meet with you. And so we'll set up a very informal meeting at the office. So, but a lot of times we will call you because it's more convenient for you. We can have a phone conversation and answer a lot of questions that we hope are helpful. Like in the phone call might be, what do I do about my car? Or a lot of people say, I hope they total my car. What can I do to encourage my car being totaled? What do I do about my medical bills? We explain over the phone the PIP, personal injury protection process in Florida that gets your bills paid. How does it coordinate with your health insurance paying your bills? But I think after doing this for a long time, it's really helpful to come in and talk to the lawyer in person. And I say that because in a serious injury case, we don't have you come in so that we can evaluate you. We have you come in so that you can personally evaluate us. You can make a better decision about, do I want this person to represent me in a matter that's really important to me, or do I want to pick or go see another lawyer? And we think it's fine to evaluate other lawyers in a serious injury case. We're happy to be compared to other lawyers. Our lawyers are board certified. They're local. We've done this for a long time. We've tried a lot of cases. Insurance companies know us. They know our verdicts. They know the things that we've done in the past over many years. And so we think that our clients benefit from our track record. So we want you to consider coming in to meet with us in a serious injury case so you can evaluate us. And in our firm, the lawyer you meet with is going to be the lawyer who you pick and who represents you. So in other firms, the process is different. And in some firms, you never talk to a lawyer. And how do I know that? Because I hear it from people that we talk to all the time. I don't get a call back from my lawyer. I don't ever talk to my lawyer. I always talk to an assistant, and I have a hard time getting someone to call me back. And so in today's personal injury lawyer world, this practice subspecialty of law, this practice of personal injury work is highly competitive. And so lawyers who get overly busy and who can't return phone calls, I think is a problem for the relationship with a lawyer. So I say all of that by saying in our firm, you're going to know who your lawyer is. And if you have a concern or a question, you're going to either talk to a highly specialized assistant. And if you want to talk to your lawyer, that's who you're going to talk to. And I tell people when I first meet with them and meet this meeting that we are talking about, look, if you feel like something is of a big concern, call me and you and I will talk about it. But if you want to come to the office, just call and set up an appointment. Doesn't take very long to get in, and I'll get the file and we'll sit in the conference room and we'll discuss whatever your concerns are until you are satisfied with what's going on in your case. And so I think that because the way lawyers earn fees in these cases through a contingency fee, you pay the same amount, the same percentage to whatever lawyer you pick in a serious personal injury case. And so as a consumer of these services, you, I suggest, should evaluate who's the lawyer I want to pick, what's their experience, what's their connection to the community, what's their track record, what are their verdicts and settlements, how long have they been doing it, and who is going to be the lawyer who represents me, and do I have a good feeling that this lawyer is going to know who I am when I call the law firm. So I'm just suggesting that you will want to put enough scrutiny into who's going to be my lawyer as you would when you go to the grocery store and you look at the ingredients on certain things and you scrutinize whatever you're buying at the grocery store. You ought to have more concern about who's going to represent you in a serious injury case. So After that initial meeting, if you choose to hire us, we'll explain in more detail the contingency fee agreement, which provides you with the opportunity to have good board certified lawyers represent you, and you don't pay any fee whatsoever until the conclusion of the case, and only if the case is successful. And it's as simple as that. So then, how does the case kind of get started, get out of the box? We will want to evaluate the facts and circumstances of your accident. We will very soon in the process want to do some investigation into who are the witnesses. We want to talk to the witnesses. We want to determine, is there any physical evidence that we need to collect and evaluate and save and preserve. We just had Greg Carden, who's a terrifically successful investigator on the previous segment of the Law Show, who gave us some details about that. But I think it's very important to do that early in the case. And then we want to notify all of the potential insurance companies whose coverage may apply to your case. And we want to find out how much the coverage is. We have a lot of viewers from Alabama, and in Alabama, injured people are not entitled to know, well, what is the coverage? What is the amount of coverage on the person who caused the accident, who injured me? In Florida, plaintiffs, people who are injured in accidents in Florida, are entitled to know how much is the coverage of the person who hit me. And I think that makes it a lot easier to evaluate what a case should resolve for, knowing, well, what is the coverage on the party who caused the accident. Interesting that in doing this for a long time, it's very, very unusual and almost never happens that somebody calls us and says, well, I've talked to the other guy's insurance company, the adjuster, and they say this, or this, but they've never told the injured person, well, here's what our insured's coverage is. It's pretty rare, but it's a fundamental thing that we find out early in a case. And then after we do some investigation, we talk to the insurance companies, we put them on notice, we find out what the coverage is. We want to follow your medical treatment. We want to order your medical records. In some cases, we talk to your doctors, not to interfere in any way, and that's typically done at the end of your treatment, because we want to be able to evaluate and project, well, how are you going to be down the road? How is this injury going to affect you when you go back to work? When you get older, are you going to have some arthritic development as you get older? So we'll follow your recovery, and we've talked on a lot of other law shows about how cases get resolved, many other ways. I think Randy Thompson's going to do another segment on how cases get resolved soon. So the process can be very personal. It doesn't have to be intimidating at all. Our lawyers have been doing this for a long time. We're really proud to have hosted the Law Show for a long time and to have a good reputation and 5-star reviews from clients who think that we've really helped them during a time that is a bit of a crisis that was not their fault. So that's this segment of the Law Show. I'm out of time for this part of it, and we'll be back in just a minute or so with another segment of the Law Show. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. I'm Mike McLeod.